One of the US cop accused of assaulting an Indian has now been arrested. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI, will now be conducting a probe into the incident where a 57-year-old Indian was assaulted by cops. Now, the Indian citizen Suresh Bhai Patel was left paralyzed after the US police used force during interrogation. The victim was paralyzed after being injured when he was forced to the ground by the police, as you can see in this particular video clip that we have got exclusively here on Headlines Today. The United States has expressed condolence to the family of the victim.
Well, again, I would say that the Secretary and the State Department certainly express our strong condolences to the family for everything that he has been through. This is being handled by local authorities, and certainly we would address any concerns through private diplomatic channels.
Let's go across to Smita Sharma, who joins us on the phone line with all the latest. Smita, it seems that now, with these images surfacing, where we can see that the victim has been pinned to the ground with force, and this could have perhaps been the reason why Mr. Suresh Bhai Patel is actually paralyzed. It became incumbent on the US authorities to take action against those erring cops.
Absolutely, because this visual which has now been released, it is quite shocking to see the way this 57-year-old man in fact has been treated, and he's constantly trying to communicate to the police officers to tell them that he doesn't know English really. He's trying to point out to the number of his son Chirag, who is an engineer in fact in Madison. And remember, Mr. Patel had gone to Atlanta, really to take care of a 17-month-old grandson. So, well, of course, India yesterday responded very strongly when this matter came up. And if you remember, Mr. Saeed Akbaruddin himself, in fact, said that this issue had been taken up by the Indian Consulate General, in fact, in Georgia and Atlanta, with the local police authorities, of course, being asked to expeditiously look into the matter. Also, one of the senior officials in the U.S. Embassy here in New Delhi was summoned yesterday. So clearly, now, in fact, Eric Parker, who is one of the officers who did assault Mr. Suresh Patel, he has, of course, been charged with third-degree assault, and they're also proposing termination of services. That is something that will happen once the FBI probe into this entire issue is completed, because they will also be looking at the angles of racism. If, any racism is involved here, was Mr. Patel attacked or assaulted by these officers because of his ethnicity? So these are the issues that are now being looked at by the police.
That's right. Smita, do also tell us how much of the pressure from the Indian establishment has actually forced the US to take this action?
See, I think it's a mixed sanket, because in the U.S., at the end of the day, we do know that they do take their constitutional rights, in fact, very seriously, especially for individuals and citizens. And Chirag, yesterday, through his attorney, really filed this 11-page lawsuit where they said that, this man, he was only walking on the sidewalk. The police initially, the Madison police had said that they had actually received a call from neighbors, some woman in the neighborhood who claimed, and they claimed that she apparently said that the suspicious man who was peeping into people's garages. Initially, police were not releasing the video and images of this incident, but when the videos were released, one can clearly see that there is no such thing. Mr. Suresh Patel, in fact, after a long flight, was only stretching himself out, and walking on the sidewalks is the right of all the U.S. citizens out there. So, but of course, from India also, there was tremendous pressure to, ensure that there was a speedy investigation into this case. Remember, also in the U.S. itself, just recently, in fact, last week in Chapel Hill, there were 3 Muslim youths who were, in fact, murdered. And that incident also has become a huge thing in the U.S., where people are, in fact, saying that the American administration or the American police officers, they are getting caught up once again into that entire profiling issues, ethnicity and racism divides. So on social media also, we see a lot of anger, in fact, that is pouring in. So everything taken into, into a combination, it looks like the U.S. police decided to act as fast as it could.
Okay, Smita Sharma there joining us with all the latest.